Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Frank Lee Benton.
How's it going,
What's up, man?
Staxx?
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for taking the time to come on my show. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on. Thanks for reaching out. Um, yeah, let's get to it.
Yeah, it's been a minute. We've been trying to get this done, right?
Yeah,
I've
finally made it happen.
I've seen you on a bunch of different interviews, and you got a crazy story. And I
Yeah.
wanted to get into it and hear some of your crazy tales you got. So, where were you born and raised, and where did it all start for you?
So I'm born and raised in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania. Um, been here my whole life. My mom moved us to Ohio for like a year when she got with my sister's father. He ended up passing away. She came right back. So that was for like maybe a whole year out there when I was like 8 years old. And been in Philly ever since then, after I came back. Yeah, Kensington, which, if you don't know, really drug ridden, really high crime levels, violence, just like probably the worst section in Philadelphia. Growing up, it wasn't as bad, but it was always there. And then it just progressed, and my mom ended up moving to like the next town over.
When you were younger, like a teenager, was it? Have you been down there?
Yeah. I used to go down there all the time, even as a teenager. So my mom moved us out when we were like 12, but it was like literally walking distance over to the neighborhood. And with me, the life that I chose, it was like cool to be down there, right? It was like you want to be around movers, shakers, and the drugs and the violence, and it was literally. So I went to Kensington High School, which is in Kensington, so it was just like the neighborhood high school, and everyone would meet there from the nicer neighborhood, which really wasn't nicer. It was just probably more white people, you can say, and
Yeah.
then the other Kensington, and we would meet there and go to school. Yeah,
And what, you're getting out of school? There are drug addicts everywhere doing drugs in public, or was it not like
yeah.
that back then?
No, there was just drug use everywhere, from smoking weed to people making hand-to-hand transactions to people on the ground shooting up, smoking crack in alleyways. Yeah.
And what was school like? Was it like drug ridden in school too?
So school wasn't. I mean, we're teenagers, but we're still kids, and there's still authority figures in there trying to. I know it's a little different than in the streets, but it's not. It's not like crackheads in school, like pills and weed and stuff. Like that was like the progression before you got to the hardship. But yeah, it was definitely still drugs in school. It just wasn't as bad as outside.
And when did you get involved into drugs?
So I started smoking weed when I was like 15 or 16 years old, and did that for a couple years, drinking, partying. It was never really drugs for me until after I got shot. Um, that's when I started getting prescribed pills, and it was probably in my early 20s. I started to do pills, and then I started experimenting with other pills. Xanax, I got prescribed Percocets, ecstasy pills, and yeah, that was in my early 20s.
You want to walk us through how you got shot in the situation?
Yeah, so I was with my brother. He was indulging in the things that we shouldn't have been. He asked me to take a ride with him to go and do something. I took a ride with him. Uh, he hands his money off to a guy. This guy goes in the house, never comes out. Um, a black guy comes out. He handed his money to a white guy. Black guy came out and said, like, you're not getting your money back. So I started following the guy. And he said, if you keep following me, I'm going to shoot you. I didn't believe I didn't see a gun. So he starts like, now he's like starting to run. And I started chasing after him, pulled out the gun and shot me in the leg. Well, in the hip area.
And what, you just fall right there, or
Yeah, it didn't hurt. I just couldn't run, so I just fell, and I like scooched up against the wall. I tried to get up again, just couldn't get up, and called an ambulance. The ambulance never came, so my girlfriend at the time and my brother threw me in the back of a car, took me to a hospital. The hospital wasn't didn't have trauma unit, so they ended up putting me from that hospital into an ambulance and took me to another hospital that had trauma care.
And that's when you start getting into the pills and drugs.
Yeah, like I took pills prior, but not like it was like at a party once here and there. This like really got me like every single day relying on them.
Were you
Like
like
every time.
afraid to get shot before this happened? Was it like a big thing
I
for people to get shot around you?
uh I mean everyone should be afraid to get shot is it's like, it's not like I was in war, I was a cop, like I wasn't expecting to get shot, but yeah, people will get shot all the time. It was just, the neighborhood we were living in. And like people wore it as a badge of honor if you survived, right? Like, yeah, one shot didn't take me down, two shot, whatever. But at the time, being in the streets, it was like a part of, the stuff that comes with it, right? Jail comes with it, being shot comes with it, fights, robbery, all that stuff comes with the street life.
And up to this point, are you getting in any trouble?
Yeah, yeah. So I got locked up for a DUI for smoking weed. Got locked up for a possession case that I beat. Never did any. Got it locked up for aggravated assault. Took a plea deal for simple assault with for probation. But at the time, I never did any like real stints. It was like go to the precinct, pay bail, get out, go to court, fight it, beat it, or take probation. So I did end up running into a stint of jail time, lengthy jail time, my first time.
And what's that like, being a white guy?
Yeah. So I got locked up for this time. It was a more serious charge, attempted murder, on one person, aggravated assault on another. It was a bar fight that escalated, and two people got stabbed. I got a week later. I get down for questioning, which they didn't even question me. I just got the charges of aggravated assault, attempted murder. So now, and mind you, I'm on probation now for this simple assault charge, which is another violent crime. So now I'm sitting with a $250,000 bail, but that's not even. I got a detainer, so even if I had the money, I couldn't get out. They weren't going to
Because
let
of
me out.
probation, right? Because of
Yeah, so I
probation.
got granted house arrest for my case because I was sitting for so long, but then they never lift my detainer, so it's good as nothing to have the house arrest granted.
Oh man.
It was a violent crime. So yeah, the population. So say there's 100 guys on the block. As far as like ethnicity, there's probably 5 white guys, 15 Spanish guys, and then the rest are black guys. So, you're at 5% of white people on the block. But I always got along with other cultures, other ethnicities because of school, right? So I was
Yeah.
always like in a diverse school where we are majority, white people are majority of, the people that aren't like involved in everything like the culture stuff like that. So I just got accustomed to it.
So yeah, I remember being in prison myself and being the only white guy on the block.
It got
The
like that
only
at points. It got
yeah,
like that at points. Yeah.
yeah. And so did you how long do you have suspended on probation?
At the time
Yeah.
when I got arrested,
Yeah.
I had a year
Did you
left, but
so,
they stop it while I'm in there.
so when you do you get convicted of this
Yeah. So I take it
attempted
to trial.
murder or like what happened?
Yeah. So I took it to trial, and the judge hears out the case. She drops the the attempted murder, drops it down to aggravated assault. So now I got two convictions for aggravated assault. I ended up getting sentenced 4.5 to 9. And then my back judge for the probation case gave me a 1 to 2. So I ended up getting 5.5 to 11 upstate sentence.
Oh man, and what's it like? You're going from being free, doing whatever you want to now you got to do prison time. And
Yeah.
what's it like for you? What was it like?
Um, it was traumatic because every day I'm thinking like I don't belong here. I know I'm not a bad person. Yeah, I've done bad things, but to sit for 5.5 years, it's an eye-opening experience for me. I had great friends and people that did the right thing. I just went off the wrong way. So while I'm sitting there, I'm like, I do not want to come back here. This is not something I want to do, because you see it, you hear it. It's obvious. Like, people are career criminals, in and out of jail, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. They get out for a year, come back. Like, I did not want to be that person. So I knew that I would have to change, like, obviously what I do, but in there taking programs and stuff and reading, and it's like, I got to change the way I think and change the way I look at things. So I just utilized the time to better myself as far as like programming, reading, working out, exercising, being involved in different schooling in there as far as trades, masonry, OSHA. Just utilize my time, and my whole motto was, if it isn't positive or productive, I don't want nothing to do with it.
But you see a lot of negative things, because I know how hard it is to want to change your life once you're in prison, but there's a lot of negative around you. There's not, like, you're not surrounded by the greatest people.
Yeah, and then especially it's like a lot of male ego, a lot of hostility, a lot of people with lengthy sentences. There's a lot of people that are depressed, that don't know how to handle their emotions. You got COs that are used to inmates being inmates, so it makes, they have a stereotype on every inmate. Yeah, it's definitely not the easiest place to stay positive and remain positive, but I had to become my own best friend and just, talk myself out of situations, talk myself up. It's, a lot of positive self-talk, staying positive, just doing things like being aware, right? So if you see a situation about to escalate, I'm walking off. If, I'm around things that I shouldn't be a part of, I'm going back to my cell, I'm reading, just like, trying to avoid the drama and the negativity as much as possible.
Was there any situations that stand out to you when you're in prison?
Plenty of situations. When I first went upstate, someone walking the jail, like probably my first 2 weeks there, someone came from behind, stabbed dude in his face. His shit was leaking. COs getting assaulted left and right. Because the way they talk to people, and I guess the inmates try to make an example out of them. You see grown men with titties. Like, you see guys coming out of guys' cells, like, they had no business being in there. So yeah, you see it all out there. I've seen a lot of guys form drug habits, and then they're checking in the PC. They're running up a tab and they're going to PC, and it's kind of giving like white people a bad name, because it's like, oh, you got to watch, these white guys. I never use drugs in there, but probably 90% of them do. So
Yeah, or gambling, right? The run up a gambling tab.
gambling, yeah, it's if you've been in there, whatever you're looking for is there. Whatever, if you're looking to get in the shit, if you're looking to gamble, if you're looking to hustle, whatever you want is there. It's it's kind of like the streets, just a little, you're restricted on a lot of things, but
it's a concentration of criminals, basically. Like,
yeah, it's people use it as they go there to think to become a smarter criminal, become a better criminal. I just wanted to become a better person, like really a better person, not like get better at doing illegal shit. I just wanted to use the time to come out and become a productive member of society. It's a lot of, that's probably 5% of the people that go there, but luckily I was that 5% where the light bulb went off.
Was there any situations where you were forced to be not so good of a person, where you have to like fight somebody? Or
yeah, when I was in a hole. This is in the county. I was in a hole, and they put this guy in my cell. He seemed cool at first. I even gave him a stamp, like he didn't have nothing. And in the hole, you don't get commissary. I mean, you can still write, so you have like notepads and books, and you can write letters and stuff. So I felt bad for him. I gave him a stamp so he could write his people, tell him he's in the hole because he can't make the phone call. So like 2 days later, I'm sleeping, and he just starts swinging on me, punching on me while I'm sleeping.